Very nice session. It is directly related with ancient science and yoga and its application in this modern world. We have to bring our ancient sciences revived well with a scientific touch and also with a simplification so that even the common people should understand and bring it into their system of life. Then we can expect earlier the transformation of this world towards a peace-loving world. The chaos present nowadays will vanish to the depth of understanding and applying that in our life. Our forefathers, the great seers, made effort only towards that. What they gave us is only the truth and the truth alone, and its manifestation up to human being. We have to understand this truth and then apply first in our personal life and verify it, and to the extent of understanding and applying in your own life, then we will be able to understand the problem around us. That will again pave way to find solutions to mankind to smoothly walk further towards a prosperous and a peaceful world. This small introduction, I like to invite Professor Afzal Ahmed, Department of Philosophy, University of Delhi. You please present your paper. Do you have PowerPoint projection? You are going to read. Okay. The time given to you is 15 minutes, okay, and then another 5 minutes allocated for any discussion and all. Okay. You please start.
Namaste.
20 minutes. Yes.
Good morning.
That is a stipulated time given.
मेरा टॉपिक है सोशो एथिकल एस्पेक्ट ऑफ लॉ ऑफ कर्मा एंड इट्स रेलेवेंस इन मॉडर्न वर्ल्ड। मैं हिंदी में प्रेजेंट कर रहा हूँ पेपर। इसका टाइटल है कर्म सिद्धांत के सामाजिक नैतिक पहलू और आधुनिक जगत में इसकी प्रासंगिकता।
One request to Dr. Afzal.
Not doctor.
Okay, all right, we agree. If possible, try to express some of your theme in English, if possible, okay, because this is an international conference. I am not insisting you have to go totally in English, but here and there, because people who do not know Hindi will not be able to understand what you are presenting. Kindly do here and there express your vision in English also.
कर्म सिद्धांत भारतीय धर्म दर्शन का एक महत्वपूर्ण सिद्धांत है। कर्म सिद्धांत का पुनर्जन्म सिद्धांत के साथ भी गहरा संबंध है। कर्म सिद्धांत को स्वीकार करने वाले व्यक्ति को ये दृढ़ विश्वास है कि मनुष्य जो कुछ करता है उसका फल अवश्य प्राप्त होता है, चाहे इस जन्म में चाहे अगले जन्म में, और वे इस समय जो कुछ भी भोग रहा है वे सब उसके पूर्व कर्मों का फल है, चाहे वे इस जन्म के कर्म हो चाहे पूर्व जन्म के। यदि हम ये मान लेते हैं कि सृष्टि में जो कुछ होता है ये ईश्वर की इच्छा से होता है या बिना किसी चेतन सत्ता के द्वारा बिना स्वयं ही होता है, तो कर्म सिद्धांत की आवश्यकता नहीं पड़ेगी। यदि हम ईश्वर को न मानकर ये माने कि सब कुछ स्वयं हो रहा है, तो ये प्रश्न उठेगा कि विश्व में जो व्यवस्था दिखाई पड़ रही है ये कहाँ से और कैसे आई। कर्म सिद्धांत संसार में प्राप्त होने वाली विषमता और व्यवस्था का समाधान प्रस्तुत करता है। कर्म सिद्धांत के महत्व को दो प्रकार से व्याख्या की जा सकती है। एक वे जो कर्म के साथ पुनर्जन्म को मानते हैं, जिसमें भारतीय धर्म दर्शन शामिल है। दूसरे जो कर्म सिद्धांत के साथ पुनर्जन्म को नहीं मानते, जैसे पाश्चात्य मूल के धर्म, जिसमें ईसाई धर्म, इस्लाम, यहूदी धर्म है। फिर भी सभी ये मानते हैं कि कर्मों का फल अवश्य मनुष्य को भोगना पड़ता है। भारतीय धर्म दर्शन में कर्म सिद्धांत की विभिन्न रूप से व्याख्या की गई है, जिसमें सांख्य योग की व्याख्या प्रस्तुत कर रहा हूं। योग के अनुसार मनुष्य जितने भी कर्म करता है सब उनका संस्कार उसको चित्त पर पड़ता है। सामान्य स्थिति में मनुष्य जब राग द्वेष आदि क्लेशों के साथ कोई कर्म करता है तो उस कर्म का संस्कार अर्थात उसकी छाप उसके चित्त पर पड़ती है। चित्त पर पड़ने वाले इन संस्कारों को कर्माशय कहा जाता है। अन्य दर्शनों की भांति योग का उद्देश्य भी मोक्ष की प्राप्ति है। सांख्य दर्शन मोक्ष का साधन केवल ज्ञान मानता है, किंतु योग कर्म और ज्ञान दोनों को ही मोक्ष का साधन मानता है। योग के अनुसार केवल ज्ञान मोक्ष के लिए पर्याप्त नहीं, उसके लिए निरंतर अभ्यास भी आवश्यक है। चित्त की शुद्धि के लिए योग चित्तवृत्तियों का निरोध पर बल देता है। पतंजलि ने चित्तवृत्ति के निरोध को ही योग बताया है। इसी के लिए अष्टांगिक योग के अभ्यास का विधान किया गया है। इसके 8 अंग हैं, जिसमें यम, नियम, आसन, प्राणायाम, प्रत्याहार, धारणा, ध्यान, समाधि है। जहां तक योग के सामाजिक नैतिक पहलू का बात आती है तो उसमें यम का आज के टाइम में बहुत महत्व है, जिसमें अहिंसा, सत्य, अस्तेय, ब्रह्मचर्य इसकी सर्वमान्य रूप में मान्यता है। यद्यपि योग जो है ईश्वर को स्वीकार करता है, किंतु कर्मों के फल प्रदान करने में ईश्वर का हस्तक्षेप स्वीकार नहीं करता है। यहाँ कर्माशय वासनाओं की सहायता से ही अपना कर्म का फल प्रदान करते हैं। मीमांसा के अनुसार जब कोई कर्म किया जाता है तो वे कर्म एक शक्ति उत्पन्न कर देता है। कर्म तो नष्ट हो जाता है, किंतु ये शक्ति बनी रहती है जो समय आने पर कर्ता को फल प्रदान करती है। इस शक्ति को मीमांसा में अपूर्व कहा गया है। न्याय विशेषिक में अन्य दर्शनों की भांति ये स्वीकार किया गया है कि मनुष्य के प्रत्येक कर्म का फल उसे मिलता है। अच्छे बुरे कर्म का फल सुख दुख के रूप में मिलता है। योग के कर्माशय और मीमांसा के अपूर्व का नाम यहाँ अदृष्ट है। अदृष्ट रूप में स्थित सभी संस्कार कभी न कभी फल उत्पन्न करते हैं, कभी शीघ्र, कभी देर से, कभी इस जन्म में, कभी अगले जन्म में। न्याय विशेषिक में ईश्वर को कर्माध्यक्ष कहा जाता है, क्योंकि ईश्वर ही अदृष्ट के अनुसार जीवों को फल प्रदान करता है, किंतु ईश्वर कभी अपनी इच्छा का प्रयोग अदृष्ट से भिन्न फल देने में नहीं करता। अद्वैत वेदांत के अनुसार मनुष्य जो भी प्राप्त करता है अपने कर्मों के फल स्वरूप प्राप्त करता है। अद्वैत वेदांत के अनुसार मनुष्य जो कुछ भी करता है उसके संस्कार उसके अंतःकरण पर पड़ते हैं, जिन्हें उसने अनुशय कहा है। ये संस्कार इस जन्म के भी होते हैं और पिछले जन्मों के भी। ये 3 प्रकार के होते हैं: प्रारब्ध, संचित, संचयमान। ये कर्म संस्कार वासनाओं के साथ मिलकर अपने भविष्य में फलीभूत होने का निर्धारण करते हैं। मनुष्य अपने जीवन के प्रत्येक कर्म इन वासनाओं के द्वारा निर्देशित होता है। विशिष्टाद्वैत का कर्म सिद्धांत शंकर के समान है, किंतु जहाँ शंकर मोक्ष के लिए केवल ज्ञान को आवश्यक मानते हैं, वहाँ रामानुज ज्ञान, भक्ति और शरणागति को आवश्यक मानते हैं। विशिष्टाद्वैत के अनुसार मोक्ष प्राप्ति के लिए कर्म आवश्यक है, किंतु अकेला कर्म पर्याप्त नहीं, ईश्वर की कृपा भी आवश्यक है। बौद्ध धर्म के अनुसार अज्ञान के कारण के लिए हुए कर्म अपना संस्कार जीव पर ऊपर डालते हैं। ये संस्कार ही उसके भविष्य के नियामक हैं। इन्हीं संस्कारों पर जीव के प्रत्यय और विचार निर्भर करते हैं, जो पुनः शरीर, वाणी और चित्त के कर्मों को उत्पन्न करते हैं। ये कर्म मनुष्य अपने संस्कार छोड़ते हैं, जो भविष्य में फलीभूत होते हैं। इस प्रकार ये चक्र चलता रहता है। बौद्ध दर्शन मानता है कि कर्म की शक्ति है जो चेतना को नया जन्म लेने के लिए प्रवृत्त करती है। अतः चाहे वे देव, मनुष्य, पशु हो, सभी जीवों का जीवन उनके पूर्व जन्म के कर्मों के ऊपर निर्भर है। सामान्यतः कर्म के अनुसार फल की प्राप्ति होती है। अच्छे कर्मों से सुख, स्वर्ग आदि और बुरे कर्मों से दुख, नरक आदि की प्राप्ति होती है। बौद्ध दर्शन का लक्ष्य दुख दूर करना है। ये तभी हो सकता है जब जन्म मरण का चक्र टूट जाए और निर्वाण की प्राप्ति हो। जन्म मरण के चक्र का मूल अज्ञान से उत्पन्न तृष्णा तथा पुनर्जन्म के लिए इच्छा में है। इसकी समाप्ति आवश्यक है। अज्ञान नाश के लिए बौद्धों ने अष्टांगिक मार्ग का विधान किया है। उसके 8 अंग हैं: सम्यक दृष्टि, सम्यक संकल्प, सम्यक वाक्य, सम्यक कर्मांत, सम्यक आजीविका, सम्यक व्यायाम, सम्यक स्मृति, सम्यक समाधि। इनका भी सामाजिक नैतिक महत्व आज बहुत है। बुद्ध की शिक्षा का संक्षेप धम्मपद के इस गाथा में निर्दिष्ट है। सब पापों को ना करना, पुण्य कर्मों का संचय, चित्त की परिशुद्धि। गौतम बुद्ध ये मानते थे कि मनुष्य शुद्ध विचारों तथा पवित्र आचरण द्वारा ही निर्वाण प्राप्त कर सकता है। कोई बाह्य शक्ति इसमें उसकी कोई सहायता नहीं कर सकती। यही कारण है कि उन्होंने निर्वाण प्राप्ति के लिए अष्टांगिक मार्ग को सर्वाधिक महत्व दिया। इसके अनुसार ही निष्ठापूर्वक आचरण करना अनिवार्य माना। इसी कारण उन्होंने आत्मदीप भावों का पर जोर दिया। जैन दर्शन का कर्म संबंधी मत अन्य सभी दर्शनों से भिन्न है। जैन मत में कर्म ना तो कोई क्रिया है ना अदृष्ट जैसा संस्कार। ये एक प्रकार का पुद्गल है जो अत्यंत सूक्ष्म कणों के रूप में संपूर्ण विश्व में व्याप्त है। ये पुद्गल कण जब जीव के संपर्क में आते हैं तो जीव में प्रविष्ट कर उसमें बहुत परिवर्तन कर देते हैं। ये ही जीव के बंधन के कारण होते हैं। जीव में ये तब तक बने रहते हैं जब तक जीव को मुक्ति प्राप्त नहीं हो जाती। जैन दर्शन ईश्वर को स्वीकार नहीं करता, अतः यहाँ कर्म स्वयं अपना फल प्रदान करता है। उसके लिए बाह्य शक्ति की आवश्यकता नहीं समझी जाती। जैन दर्शन के कर्म सिद्धांत की सामाजिक और नैतिक महत्वता इसके मोक्ष मार्ग से प्रकट होती है, जो त्रिरत्न जिनको कहा गया है, और 5 महाव्रतों में भी उसकी सामाजिक नैतिकता का महत्व हमें पता लगता है, जिसमें अहिंसा, सत्य, अस्तेय, अपरिग्रह, ब्रह्मचर्य है। उपरोक्त 5 महाव्रत मोक्ष प्राप्ति के लिए आवश्यक शर्त के रूप में स्वीकार किए गए हैं। मोक्ष दशा में जीव अपने स्वाभाविक स्वरूप को पा लेता है और उसमें अनंत चतुष्टय की उत्पत्ति होती है। इसके अतिरिक्त सिख धर्म में भी कर्मवाद को स्वीकारा गया है। यहाँ मानव के इच्छा स्वतंत्र को स्वीकारा गया है। जप जी में गुरु नानक ने स्पष्ट कहा है कि मानव स्वयं बीज बोता है और उसका ही फल खाता है। दूसरी जगह कहा गया है कि अपने शरीर को खेत बनाकर उसमें अच्छे कर्म रूप बीज को बो, ईश्वर नाम से पानी पटा, तेरा हृदय किसान बने और तब तुझे निर्वाण का महात्म्य प्राप्त होगा। कर्म सिद्धांत को सार्वभौम सत्य स्वीकार किया गया है। गुरु नानक कहते हैं, किसने अच्छे काम किए, किसने बुरे काम किए, ये सब धर्मराज दरबार में जांचा जाता है। मनुष्य के कर्म ही उसे भगवान के पास ले जाते हैं या उससे दूर कर देते हैं। इसके अतिरिक्त पाश्चात्य धर्म दर्शनों में भी, इस्लाम में भी कर्म के महत्व को अत्यधिक स्वीकारा गया है। ईश्वर मनुष्य से चाहता है कि वे स्वतंत्र इच्छा के साथ शुभ कर्म करे। कर्म के महत्व और मानव स्वतंत्र का महत्व बताते हुए डॉक्टर इकबाल ने कहा है कि खुद ही को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से पूछे, बता तेरी रजा क्या है। मानव अपनी इच्छा का सदुपयोग कर शुभ संकल्प के द्वारा स्वर्ग तथा दुरुपयोग कर कुकृत्यों के द्वारा नरक का अधिकारी होता है। कुरान के अनुसार लेकिन जो लोग ईमान लाए और अच्छे कर्म किए तो उनके लिए कभी खत्म न होने वाला प्रतिफल है। दूसरी जगह कहा गया है कि जिसने अपने व्यक्तित्व ईश्वर को सौंप दिया और वे सत्कृतिवान है और उसके लिए उसका प्रतिफल उसके प्रभु के पास है। उनको कोई भय नहीं और ना वे दुखी होंगे। अंत में आधुनिक जगत में कर्म सिद्धांत की प्रासंगिकता के बारे में कहते हुए कहा जा सकता है कि प्रत्येक कर्म का फल मनुष्य स्वयं ही भोगता है। मनुष्य को अच्छे कर्म करना चाहिए और बुरे कर्म नहीं करना चाहिए। धन्यवाद।
Yes. Yeah, they completed before time, and now it is open for further discussion and doubt clearing.
When karma is very important and significant, your survey is all right. Jainism, Buddhism, etc., Sikh, Quran. Why Bhagavad Gita proposes karma sannyasa and what is the concept in it? 5th Adhyaya of Bhagavad Gita deals with karma sannyasa yoga. And prior to he proposes karma yoga and then he says karma sannyasa yoga. What is the logic in it? Can you understand it? The sense of law of karma.
भगवत गीता निष्काम कर्म पर जोर देती है कि फल की प्राप्ति से अगर इच्छा होगी तो कर्म के फल से बंध जाएगा मनुष्य। इसलिए भगवान कृष्ण कहते हैं कि निष्काम कर्म करने पर जोर देते हैं। जिससे उसके फल से बंधेगा नहीं।
Doctor, can you supplement his view? May I request you?
Well, the karma has to be done. You can't deviate from karma. You can't relinquish karma altogether for that matter. But at the same time, one has to do karma with a detached mind. That's what Krishna says in the beginning of Karma Yoga. But then at one stage, the karma also has to be relinquished in the sense, we do not do karma with the mind attached to it. When we do the karma without an iota of the mind being attached to it, then it is karma sannyasa. We should not relinquish karma. The karma should get rid of us of its own accord. So that is the distinction between karma yoga and karma sannyasa, as I understand.
Karma, it's an action. As I expressed yesterday, it is tied with a result. Whatever you do, it will bring a result. That result should be always good, not only to the self, but also to others. Not only at present, but also to future. Not only to the body, but also to the mind. So in all these 6 aspects, our deed should be always bringing good thing. Then the karma is always good. So karma is only an action. So before entering into an action, we have to think with a past experience and the present situation and need. Then when we put ourselves, it will bring a good result. That's how it is given. Don't expect any other thing, because if you do anything, the result is imminent. So before doing, you have to think by all these angles, then the result is always good. That is the divine. Only those who have expanded well to the level of understanding the divine function, it will be always bringing good. This is the implied meaning in that karma theory.
Professor Brahmanagari Swami, can you please elaborate more on your own question itself, so that he will take note of that?
The concept of karma sannyasa actually speaks. The very word karma sannyasa, it is happening. It's not at all done by the individual. It's not sankalpit. A prakritik hai. It will be taking a natural course. If you understand that particular natural course, you will be placing the cause, effect and the course of the entire karma with the sat. And that concept is karma sannyasa. And so if you are identifying yourself as the author, as our Professor Lakshmanan has told, there can be understood for the good or bad. If you cannot identify yourself as the author of that particular thing, then you can understand that is a natural course. So the concept should be taken into consideration in karma sannyasa yoga. That's what I understand.
Yes, as a Professor Satyamodi is telling, sannyasam itself is having a very deep meaning. It is based on the truth, the ultimate truth. Then living in accordance with that. That is a sannyasam. Always the mind is on the dharmic field, dharmic course. So there is no other deviation from that. So karma sannyas means always thinking about the benevolence of the self and others. That is a karma sannyas.
I think the explanation given by Professor is very much all right, and also nishkama karma is the karma sannyasa you can take. As simple as that.
Correct.
That's all. What the other has replied. That's
any further comment on that?
One has to transcend even the good. At that level, we don't distinguish what is good, what is bad. You even transcend.
Yes.
It is a concept of akarma, is identified.
Yes.
So from satkarma to duskarma, one has to go to the level of akarma.
Yes.
So this is what?
That we cannot decide after getting the result. The karma is to be decided before an action is done. that is called akarma. That only will inhibit from doing akarma, because the expanded condition of the mind will never restrain from to the self itself, but also for the welfare of all. Then it is a nishkamya karma.
There are several Upanishad sayings like kurvanneveha karmani jijivishe chatagum samaha astita janakadayaha, like this. But the word karma sannyasa itself, sannyasa, the etymology of the sannyasa is very much interesting. Nyasa is to keep something at some place. Samyak nyasaha sanyasaha. So keeping our mind the state of supreme consciousness, whatever it is. Are not very much concerned about the namings like supreme reality, super consciousness, whatever name you give. So sannyasa, as a certain etymology, that etymological meaning has some certain significance. Maybe that way I think we should see the things. You may please.
Janaka mithilayam se pradiptayam nahi me vyatha, he says, Janaka says. So even when Mithila is burning, it doesn't affect me. It's
like a mirror.
Okay. I think no more question. Okay. Thank you very much.
आप सभी का धन्यवाद, और आए हुए सुझावों को मैं शामिल करूंगा और उस पर आगे काम करूंगा. इसमें आपका सभी धन्यवाद.
Be good.
A special congratulations to you because yeah.
The next one. May I invite Dr. Rabindranath to present his paper through PowerPoint on modern prescription of ancient wisdom. Dr. Rabindranath is a physician, an MD, and also good exponent in Vedatri Maharishi's simplified Kundalini Yoga. He is practicing this for the past 25 years. He had applied what Swami Vedatri Maharishi is giving on his own, and then those patients who have come towards him for their so many ailments, he tried, he applied, he found that it works very well. So based on that, he is going to present a paper on that.
Yes. Valha Vayagam, Valha Vayagam, Valha Valamuda. My paper is Modern Prescription of Ancient Wisdom, explained by 14-point acupressure exercise. Next. The exercise is essential for every individual to keep his body fit, especially in the present day when our actions, our movements have been curtailed to a maximum extent possible. We need not walk the stairs, we can come by the lift. We need not strain our ears to listen. The audio system will help like that. In every point, our activity, because of our inventions, developments, scientific developments, our physical activity has come to the maximum extent, nil almost. To the extent of this restriction of the body movements, the problems crop and increase excess. But unfortunately, our modern man has no time to do the exercise. He has no time, so he is too busy. He runs, he doesn't walk, and so he is not having time to do it. So Vedatri Maharishi has given a package program for exercise which covers from head to foot, and in just half an hour to 45 minutes time they can cover the entire body. The 14-point acupressure is also one such thing. Next. Of the various parts of the body, stomach takes the credit of being the chief cause for all the troubles. If your stomach is healthy, the body is healthy to a great extent. Most of our problems come out of the malfunctioning of the organs in the stomach. Next. To keep the body fit, you have to understand the body. In science, we deal only with the Sthula Sarira. Only in spirituality, we bring in the astral body and the causal body. The body functions as a single unit, but it is understood in the form of three bodies. The physical body, that Sthula Sarira, is made up of cells, and the astral body, by the association, by the mass of life force particles, the Akash element of the Panchabhuta in the body, works as the astral body. And the causal body is the magnetism. And this magnetism the magnetism evolves from the life force particles, from the dust particles, and drives the body. The single force which is responsible for all the body functions is only biomagnetism. Next. The life force particle can be just shown like this, to be made up of the Parama Anus, the dust particle, divine dust particles, which associate themselves to form the life force particle. These dust particles are formed in the space, and they are self-rotating space itself, and that together forms a system. The dust particles, they have their own velocities of spin, and according to their speed they associate to form these life force particles. The slower ones are near the center and the faster ones are away from it. And this model is proposed for the life force particle, and it has to be questioned, studied and accepted. Next. The Sthula Sarira is made up of the cells and the body is nothing but the association of cells. Cells combine to form tissues, tissues combine to form organs, and organs combine to form systems, and the various systems have evolved as the body. And the astral body, as I said, is made up of the life force particles and the Akash element of the Panchabhutas, and the life force particles, they also spin in the body system from the central point, core point, which is called genetic center. From that they go round and round, and as they go round in an orbital fashion, in the layer by layer, concentric layers, it forms the astral body. And these life force particles, the slower ones, as they are closer to the center, you can see depicted by the green color there, and it is almost circular. The faster ones, the fastest one, the red one, is shown on the outer, and they are thrown out from the genetic center. They go around the body, pass through all the tissues in the body and come back to the center. As they come towards the center, you can see a tail portion of it shown here, which is receding back into the system. The tail is nothing but the dust particles, divine dust particles. As it is coming out with speed from the genetic center, they are lagging behind and forms a tail, and that is withdrawn as they come towards the center. There is a pressure gradient right from the center to the periphery. Next. The dust particles, are self-rotating space itself, and they dissolve into the, because of the resistance of the surrounding space, they dissolve back to the space, and as they go back to the static state, the energy which was spinning them is charging into the space, and this charged space we call it magnetism. And when that magnetism is within the body, you call it biomagnetism. When it is in the universe, you call it the universal magnetism. The magnetism which is being explained by Vedadri Maharishi has ability to explain all the secrets of, most of the secrets, unknown facts of our life, how the karma which was elaborated just before is this thing. Being the magnetism, it has the ability to contract and retain the information in the center, and when it expands from the center to the periphery, it is able to expand the information which is kept in the genetic center back to the visualized stage, the thought stage or the action stage. So this biomagnetism also has the various speeds, and they are in science referred as the beta, alpha, theta, delta rhythms. And here the biomagnetic field is shown with the different colors, namely the red in the beta, the yellow alpha, and the blue the theta, and the purple the delta. So they also go in the body. Next, the biomagnetism runs from the genetic center into the body and throughout. The biomagnetic wave next passes through the cells, and when they pass through the cells, they create adherence. The cells in the body are the fundamental units, just like bricks for the building, and in the building the bricks are held together in non-movable way permanently with the mortar, with the cement, whereas in the body they are free. The cell in the living body, the cells appear, develop, mature, divide and die also. In one's lifetime there is innumerable cycles of cells taking place, and this is possible only when they are not held tight like that. So it is a functional attachment that is working on the basis of magnetism, and this is maintained by the flow of magnetism, the magnetic force within the body. And next, this flow, if it is uniform, harmonious, health is there, and if it is disturbed, then you don't have the health. The disturbance in the health is according to the extent of the derangement. See, rerun this slide again. The magnetism comes when there is a gap between two cells, it gets blocked, it stays. There is a resistance for the magnetism to flow. When this magnetism keep on accumulating, when it reaches a critical stage, then it is bypassing the direction, the normal direction. The short circuiting takes place. This short circuiting creates a disturbance in the biomagnetic movement in the body, rhythm in the body, which is manifested as pain or disease to the extent of the disturbance that is possible. Next, the biomagnetic flow in the body is very much influenced by our thought force also. This is the one which we are using in our various types of meditation or mental activities. In the meditation from the Muladhara to the Sahasradhara or Ajna, the biomagnetism is concentrated in the rerun it. From the Muladhara, the biomagnetism travels to the Sahasradhara and gets caught. When you do this, the spinal clearance. Again, run it again. It moves from the Mooladhara to the Sahasradhara, from the Mooladhara to the Ajna, and back to the this thing. These are possible by thought force. Next, and similarly, in Nityananda meditation, according to Vedadri Maharishi, or Vipassana, as it is widely understood, we voluntarily by thought force spread it to the entire body. So this shows that the biomagnetism follows your thought. It obeys your thought. It obeys your command. It can go anywhere. So in one of the meetings, in one of the classes, one of the scholars in the World Community Service Center was showing that keeping both the hands on the observer's hand and by thought force accumulating the magnetism in one hand, he can change the temperature. The hand to which the thought force is passing on the magnetism becomes warm, and this difference which was not there can be observed by the observer. And again, when he just reverses, passes the energy to the left hand and leaves the right hand idle, the temperature shifts, changes. So this type of movement of biomagnetism by thought force, and the respiration also. The respiration we all know very well.
Doctor, you have only 2 more minutes.
Right.
Please.
Next. So using this, the movement of biomagnetism according to the thought force and this thing, the 14-point acupressure is utilized. I said abdomen is a very important portion of the body, and almost the entire digestive system, excretory system, and the reproductive system and the endocrine glands are all housed in the abdomen, and they are studied in medical science with the 9 quadrants shown on the right side. Next. And this exercise, the 14-point acupressure, the biomagnetism is collected from the abdomen and the body. Next, click again. Right. It moves by thought force from the abdomen to the left hand, which is kept on the back of the neck, and it travels to the left shoulder, right shoulder, and to the hand and to the finger, which is kept on the abdomen. And from that point, next, this is the first point. Next, these are the 14 points used in the acupressure. Next, again, next. Here the biomagnetism is brought into the finger, and from that finger it is just like a ray of light or a ray of laser. It goes into the abdomen and spreads and charges the organs underneath. Next, the second, third and fourth points are just shown now. Now the rest of the points. Next, the points around the umbilicus, in the umbilicus. The one towards the 12 o'clock position is the next point, 6 o'clock is the next point. All those things are shown one by one. As you spread the energy, it goes. Next. Next, click again. Now this energy is directed downwards to the pelvis. Next. Click again. It goes towards the liver. Next. You can do it fast. So it goes to the spleen area, kidney area. It goes to the appendix area. It comes to the left iliac fossa. It is to the gallbladder and liver, and this point will to the spleen and the kidney, and this will be to the appendicular point and the bladder, uterus and ovary, and this will be to the colon. All the 14 points put together, spread it to the entire body. The benefits of the 14 point, it energizes the internal organ point by point, corrects the deficit of biomagnetism and wipes off the excess, thereby maintaining normalcy. It normalizes the hyperacidity and ulcer problems, normalizes the liver and gallbladder functions, improves digestion, normalizes bowel movements. Constipation responds very well to this exercise, and the bonus point is the sleep problem. And Mr. Vijay Gupta, who is associated with this movement, he utilizes this 14-point acupressure point to address the sleep problems prevalent in the US. So, next, acupressure is a technique from the ancient wisdom, and modern scientific knowledge makes it rational and acceptable to the present day. Next, he is our Guru, and he usually blesses. May all be blessed with prosperity, health and knowledge. Thank you.
A nice presentation about this flow of biomagnetism in running the whole system and its conversion into suitable biochemicals so that the whole physics is maintained properly. To the extent of doing such kind of exercises, we can bring to normal flow of this biomagnetism so that the entire system is maintained properly. A very nice expression, and now it is open for doubt clearance.
I would just like to add a point that Vethathiri Maharishi's ideas are quite in line with what the Vedas declare. Shariram me vicharshanam, jihva me madhumattama, karna abhyam bhuri vishravam. And also in line with what the great Kalidasa has said, Shariramadhyam kalu dharma sadhanam. A sound mind in a sound body. And therefore I congratulate the presenter for his ideas.
Yes, please.
I want to supplement our Dr. Rabindranath in two ways. The concept of yoga is basically related with the Grandhi Chedana. And the concept of Grandhis which are told Brahma Grandhi, Vishnu Grandhi and Rudra Grandhi in general yoga. But the entire study of Vedantic system says such type of knots are very many in the body, and they must be done through only pressure management. And that pressure management is very much identified through acupressure. And secondly, this concept wherein from 4 to 10 out of these 10 points, 7 points are critically identified in the Gayatri Upasana. And certain, we spell a particular mantra as Bijakshara, and every point will be affected. And of such, I have found 7 to 8 points which Maharshi had included in this particular acupressure.
True.
This is for the supplementing of the situation.
Nice thing. You know, this conference itself is towards that. See, exploring the ancient science and bringing it to the easy applications. Towards that only Vethathiri Maharshi made this, simplified this. So he named it also simplified physical exercise. The mind management is called simplified Kundalini Yoga. It again brings the old scriptures into vogue, into this modern world in a simpler way. So it is highly contributory towards this.
Just one comment. In the Kerala School of Ayurveda and Yoga, there they follow this Marma Vidya. There are 9 marmas according to Ayurveda. So this acupressure, I think, can be correlated with the kind of marma where you are activating that certain Maybe you can have your own comments, sir. I just want to say this thing. And second thing, did you do any case studies using this technique?
By some of the PhD students, and they will be presented sooner or later. This practice is widely followed. Around more than lakh people take it every year new, and people when they take it new, they experience the differences very obviously, and they appreciate it very much. And now a systematic study is being taken on.
Thank you. The professor has an objection, I think. Please, sir.
Not an objection, because we have referred to Kerala concept, what you want to say. The concept what is found in Kerala is somewhat different from the way in which our Maharshi has told. And the practices that were there found in Kerala since the times of Nedunjalian, the famous Chera king, and it was practiced as a martial art called as Varmakalai, and they have identified 108 points, and they used to manage them.
Yeah, the martial art is Kalaripayattu, it's not the
There are
Varmakala.
different books.
No, they have Varmakala.
Yeah, but the martial art is called Kalaripayattu, it's not...
Yes, that is
but they activate the Varma points using Kalaripayattu, that is there.
Even the martial art prevailing widely all over the world, it started only from Tamil Nadu, who first gave this knowledge to the Chinese. The seer Boger marched from India, from Tamil Nadu to China. There only, he only gave this technique of shifting this energy to various parts of this body at the moment of thought. He is only responsible for that. So, Varmakala originated from Tamil Nadu and then slowly vanished, existing only a few points, a few places. So, it is being revived with a scientific touch towards the welfare, towards the good health and all.
In Coimbatore, where we practice this, one Varma practitioner, he appreciates this exercise, this 14-point acupressure very much, and he says it is his own system and not different. So
thank you very much.
They accept it so well.
We appreciate very much Dr. Ravindranath, and we go to the next speaker, presenter. Yes, we clap hands. Then we invite Mr. A. Rajkumar to present the paper. Is he present? Yes, please. His topic is on study on upgrading personalities of students by enhancing their aura and chakras.
Good morning to all. Be blessed by the divine. My project is study on upgrading the personalities of the students by enhancing their aura and chakras through Vedatri Maharishi's 9 center meditation. This project was carried out by me and my colleague is, our research guide is Dr. G.R. Valliammal in Bharathiar University and assistant professor in Vedatri Maharishi's research center all year. Next. Let me introduce the Vedatri Maharishi. He is a spiritual scientist. He is a founder of Vedatri World Community Service Center. He has been declared as a 19th Siddha saint by Dravidian University of Andhra Pradesh. He has simplified the traditional Kundalini Yoga into simplified Kundalini Yoga for modern world. Next. Our 9 center meditation is, it involves 9 centers. First one is Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipuraka, Anagata, Visuddhi, Agna and Duriya. These are the 7 chakras in the body. The 8th and 9th are, the 8th is universal field and the 9th is absolute space. That is Shakti Kalam and Shiva Kalam. Next. This is aura. Aura is a biomagnetic field of subtle and luminous radiation surrounding a person. It indicates the power and the holiness and the characters of a person. This aura was represented as a circle behind the god and the goddess and the saints by our ancestors. Next. We know the Nataraja statue. It has many descriptions. It is a symbol of divine play of the god. But when it is considered as a man, it is the circle is aura surrounding that person. Next. Now we see the saints. We use in our Indian culture. We used to draw a circle behind the heads of the saints and the god, goddess. All these are aura. This aura is a astral body. It surrounds the whole body. Only in the head we usually represent. That's next, we see the chakras. Chakras are vital Kundalini energy centers where the life energy flows into the body. The places for glands in the physical body are the places for the chakras in the astral body. So to indicate these chakras, to emphasize the importance of the chakras, our forefathers, they situated the temples above 7 hills. For example, Tirupati, Tirumala, and in Coimbatore there is a Vellingiri temple. All are above the 7 hills. The 7 hills are 7 chakras in the body. Next. To improve the aura, in our tradition we have a practice of light worshipping. Vedatri Maharishi has discovered this practice from the temple and given us a light gazing practice, and another one is mirror gazing practice. These are the two practices to improve the auras and the chakras. Now when we worship the light, we put the hands like this. That time our hands will receive the energy from the fire. We know that our hands are both energy giver and receiver. So it receives the energy, and when we do the eye palming, that energy is fed to the vision nerves. Because vision nerves are very, very soft in our body, only the eyes will be affected in the early age itself. So eyes are fed with energy, and that mingles with the biomagnetic energy. The fire energy gets only with the biomagnetic energy, thereby the aura increases. Next. Ancient ways to improve the chakras. First we saw the aura improving, next we see the chakras improving. To improve the chakras, our saints, the Siddha saints, they brought mantras. We know the famous mantra Om Namah Shivaya. The Om Namah Shivaya mantra, it enhances, it uplifts the chakras. One of the 18 Siddha saints, his name is Sivavakyar, he has explained in his poem that the Om Namah Shivaya, how it induces the 7 chakras. He say when we say Om, the sound starts from the Mooladhara. Om, it starts from the Mooladhara and it ends with the Duriya, that is Sahasradhara. So the 2 chakras are getting activated here. In between there are 5 centers. For that we use Namah Shivaya word. When we say Na, it activates the Swadhisthana. When we say Ma, Manipuraha, the Shi is Anahada, Va, Visuddhi, the Ya, Agna. So when a person repeatedly pronounces the Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, his chakras are getting activated. His life energy centers can also be moved. Next. To implement the project concept, to prove that we can improve the auras and the chakras through Vedatri Maharishi's 9-center meditation. Though there are traditional ways like mantras and the light worshipping, according to the modern world, through the meditation we can improve the auras and the chakras. So for that we selected 2 schools, totally 44 students, 22 each school. One school was considered as an experimental group, another one as a controlled group. Both students are 11th standard boys schools in government schools. Next. Process. They were initiated the 9-center meditation. The steps here are: first they are initiated Agna meditation, Duriya meditation, thereafter Shakti Kalam and Shiva Kalam. So in the 7 centers, initially they are given only Agna and Duriya meditation. To Agna, the life force energy is shifted from Mooladhara through the spinal cord. That is, the remaining 5 centers are bypassed directly through the spinal cord and they are given in the Agna. So why this is? Vedatri Maharishi says once a person is initiated the Agna meditation and the Duriya meditation, the remaining meditation, the Visuddhi, Anahava, that becomes easier when he learns the Agna and Duriyam first. Next. To measure the aura, according to the scientific ways, to give a scientific proof, for that we use aura video station system. This aura video station system was developed by Johannes Fischliger. He is a researcher and author of Aura Imaging Photography and another one book, Aura Mastery. These 2 books were written by him. He invented this machine, Aura video station. Here we see the photograph. The student is there and the technician is there. The student, he puts his hand on the one small machine, that is biosensor, that is hand biosensor, and the technician uses a web camera associated with the laptop. This is the Aura video station, and when we put the hand, the biosensor, it measures the biofeedback data. This Aura video station system is based on the principle of biofeedback, color psychology, human energy field, and the mind-body languages. Next, when the student puts his hand, the biosensor, it senses the electrical conductivity, the electrodermal conductivity of the skin and the temperature, and it correlates, it analyzes and processes, and it correlates with the specific emotional energetic states, and it displays as a aura image of the individual in the computer screen. This is the aura image of that student, and this is the chakra image of the student. Here this is the percentage of the aura. This student has 50% aura. Next. And to measure the physiological measurements, some factors, they were tested, they were examined by the doctors in the Vedatri Maharishi's Simplified Kundalini Yoga Research Center by allopathy doctors. They were measured the heartbeat, they were BP, all. Next. Now we see the result. After 6 months, both schools, the experimental group students, they were given 9-center meditation. The controlled group students, they were not given any meditation. They were used only for the testings, that's all. So they were followed for 6 months. At the end of the 6 months, we see the result. The experimental group progressed well compared to the controlled group. The progresses were the increase in the energy levels of auras and the chakras, as our title indicates. Next, body mass index. We could witness that the body mass index had a good progress. The academic marks and the harmony in relation with the parents, teachers, these are some psychological assessments. Decrease in pulse rate, BP, and disease, anger, tension, worries. Next. This is now we see one by one the result. Pulse rate. In the yellow group, the yellow bar indicates the experimental group, and the another color indicates the controlled group. In the 0 month, the average pulse rate of the experimental group was 88, and the controlled group was 87. In the 3rd month, it decreased. See, the yellow has decreased. It became to 73. The average pulse rate of the students doing meditation, the 9-center meditation, their pulse rate was 73. Whereas the control group, they remained the same. In the 6th month, it increased somewhat little, 74. The experimental group students, they were tested in the 0 month, 3rd month, and 6th month. But the control group students, they were tested only in the 0 month, that is pre-test, and at the 6th month, final test. They were not tested in the middle test, that is the 3rd month. So their 0 month result of the controlled group is copied to the 3rd month result for the controlled group. Next, body mass index. Initially, their body mass index for an experimental group was 18.08, and the 3rd month 18.49, and finally 6th month 18.24. All the upcoming bar charts will have a graph like this. In the 0 month, they will have low. In the middle month, they will have more. In the 6th month, they will have somewhat little than the 3 month, but they won't reach the 0 month. Why this is? Because in the first 3 months, the experimental group students, they showed more interest, more passion for learning yoga and meditation. They were much interested. So they practiced more. So the progress was more. After the 3 months, they had some other commitments like half-yearly exams, likewise. And they also, the human mind, it is the nature of the human mind. We will have passion before learning. After learning, we will slowly lose our interest. So the students, they lose their interest. So the progress decreased. But the main plus point is they didn't reach the initial stage. Next, BP. In the diastolic, in the 0 month, they had 73. The controlled group had 68. In the 3rd month, 67. In the 6th month, 66. And whereas the controlled group also has a normal progress, but the percentage of the progress is more for the experimental group. Next, this is systolic pressure. In the 0 month, they had 109. Thereafter, the yellow bar 114. Thereafter 111. Next. Academic marks. It could be witnessed they progressed well. The experimental groups increased from their average mark in the 11th standard. It was initially 529. Thereafter, after 6 months, it increased to 594. That was the average mark at the end of the 6 months. The control group decreased from, initially they had 653 and it reduced to 606. They may have some other reasons for this reduce, and if they have progressed, definitely it would be less than the experimental group. Next. ARA. The ARA, before we saw one student's ARA percentage, the average percentage of the experimental group in the 0-month test is 51, whereas the controlled group had 50. In the 3rd month, their ARA size, that is their ARA quantity, increased up to 56. In the 6 months also, it remained 56. The controlled group, without any practice, they had only 1% improvement. So it may be because of the growth in that age. Next. Mooladhara. Our forefathers, our ancestors they had given many representations for our chakras. For Mooladhara, they gave 4 petals lotus. These 7 chakras have 7 type of lotus having various petals. The Mooladhara has 4 petals lotus, and its god is Ganapati. For 7 centers we have 7 gods. In the Mooladhara, the energy level was in the 0-month level was 32, and it increased to 37. Thereafter, in the 6 months it remained at 37. Whereas the control group remained the same up to the last. Next. The Swadhisthana energy, the chakra energy level was, as we told, it is a 6 petals lotus. In the 0-month they heard 34, thereafter 37. Next. Manipuraka. It is a 10 petals lotus. In the 0-month they heard 36, they increased to 41 and up to 41. Next. Anahata. Anahata, the god for Anahata is Rudra. For Mooladhara we have Ganapati, and for Swadhisthana we have Brahma. For Manipuraha we have Vishnu. For Anahata, Rudra, and Visuddhi is Sadasivan, and Adna Maheshwaran. For Duriya, that is Sahasradhara, that is Parameshwara. In the Anahata, the energy level was initially 34, thereafter it increased to 35 and decreased again 34. Only it reached the initial level. Okay, next. Visuddhi. It is a 16 petals lotus, and in the 0-month it was 37, thereafter in the 3rd month it 40, thereafter only one small decrease, that 39. Here the controlled group also has 2% increment. Next. Agna. It is a 2 petal lotus. In the 0-month their percentage was 48 and increased to 50, and in the 3rd month we never expected that they very much reduced to 42. I am searching for the reason for this. In the 6th month both our experimental and control group has come to the same stage. In the initially they had more progress, but we could not. We are tracing the reason for this. Next. In the Turiya, in the starting 0-month 29, thereafter 36, in the last month 30. Next. And the Sahasradhara, that was 1000 petals lotus. Relationship with the parents. They were given some self-assessment psychological questions. They answered. For in the 0-month, their relationship with their harmony with their parents was 70. And the control group was 61. Thereafter they increased to, experimental increased to 78, there are 79. Next. Okay, next. Please. The conclusion, like parents, the teachers and friends, they all were given the self-assessment questions. The progress was very much. Conclusion. So, all it can be done only through the inner travel, that is meditation. Without doing meditation, we can't improve the auras and the chakras and whatever the personality of the students. So to emphasize the importance of the meditation, our forefathers told a simple word, that is divine. Divine means dive in. We should dive inside. In Tamil we say kadavul, that means kada plus will get inside. That is dive inside. And Vedatri Maharishi, who came in the Tamil Siddha's heritage, has simplified this Kautilya. And this is the 9 center meditation is the only, there may be many ways to improve. This is an effective ways to improve the auras and the chakras. So we stress that we can improve the psychological and the physiological personalities of the students. The students' personalities can be improved by Vedatri Maharishi's 9 center meditation. Okay.
Thank you very much. Very nice presentation. We appreciate. And now it is open for discussion through question and answer. Yes, please, sir.
Methodology. How did you measure things, parameters like aura and chakra?
For auras and the chakras.
How did you measure them, for comparison?
What's the measure funding?
Through the aura video station system developed by Johannes Kisslinger. He uses the biosensor and web camera, and there is a aura software, aura 5.1 software. It is in the US. You can refer your website in the aura.net, www.aura.net. He has given a complete.
And the chakras?
It gives us it measures the chakras also. Okay. The same machines give the aura image and the chakras report.
Dhanyavad.
Yes. Can it be linked with MRI?
No.
No, sir. I don't have knowledge.
Can you supplement, yes, Dr. Rabindranath?
MRI doesn't focus. It is for the entire body, and the software has to be changed according to the requirements. And if it is tuned to the chakras, it may be able to show. And more than MRI, the PET scan is more closer to the requirement.
Why? Because we are not able to prove that there are chakras. This is something like tridoshas in the body cannot be measured by any equipment. Similarly, chakras cannot be seen. Maybe this is experienced. So if the software is able to reach that state, probably we may have more wonders.
I can put this way, it's an indirect method of bringing out that effect. Even electroencephalogram recording the frequency of the mind, only it's only an indirect method. When the mind is calm, the vibration and then output is very less. Under high stress and high emotional condition, the output is very high. Based on this only, they classify. This is a beta range, alpha range, theta and delta. It's an indirect method. As you say, we cannot directly gauge through any instrument the status of the mind. So, applying science in another way so as to explain well what is going on is the best way.
The chakras and the nadis are in the energy field, whereas the physical body is not the same. What we study is the physical body and not the energy body, and that's why we are not able to see it.
Doctor, please.
A few months back, Dr. Prasad conducted a conference in Hyderabad, and one gentleman spoke about the effect of aura on people. He brought one instrument, and he said the instrument started rotating. One hand-like thing of the instrument started. He said, we do not know whether it is correct or not. It starts rotating when the aura has some effect on some people, something like that. We were not very sure of how the instrument is working, whether it rotates automatically or this gentleman rotates by his own self. Is there any genuineness of such instruments? And
even we were wondered about that instrument, sir.
Yeah.
He takes the saliva of the person and he puts this sample in that equipment. This is like a handgun, and whenever the person is moving, the gun also moves along with the movement of the person. So it recognizes the aura, what you call the zone. So, the underlying mechanism has been not explained so far. And that is something mysterious we don't know.
Because it highly depends on the programming of that machine. Maybe the genuineness of that we have to repeatedly do.
No, we don't have.
We have
It is.
Thank you so much.
A parallel is the water divining system.
He has a question. Please be brief in 1 minute.
Sir, I am a little bit confused. Why there is the fluctuation when one starts the spiritual journey dive in, as the presentation has told about it. Why there is the fluctuation when one is starting the spiritual journey?
First of all, you are referring to an English word, divine. If you take the Sanskrit word, divyatva, divya, this is the root in this. Devata, all these words are related. Please me correct, sir, if I am wrong. So when you try to correlate Devata, Divya, or Deva, whatever word you are referring in Sanskrit, to a word like divine, I think it's not capable to allow the entire scope of the etymology of the word. So that is one thing. I will just give one example. There is Vanara. Vanara means monkey. We say Narova. He looks like the Vanara looks like a Nara. Monkey looking like a human. If you go back to Darwin's theory and all, this can be correlated. But according to Puranas and Upanishads, we cannot accept this theory. That way, this is a kind of simple calling the terminology, nothing to do with the theory.
Sir, the fluctuation in the 3 months and in the 6 months, why is there is the difference? When one spiritual desire is the going on, then why is the decreasing? It should be the increasing mode.
Yes, sir. That is based on the passion of the students. Initially, in the first 3 months, they had more interest in learning the meditation. It is a human psychology that only in the beginning we will have interest to learn anything. Thereafter, after learning, we will become ordinary person. It is based on our motivations. They should be motivated well. Okay, it is an initial experiment. It can be done.
Mr. Rajkumar,
Yes.
you are missing one important point in your observations. The biomagnetism or whatever it may be which is expressed as aura is controlled by the universal magnetism also. And what about the relation between the universal magnetism and biomagnetism in this particular biomass index? It should also be identified. You are partly speaking only.
Yes, sir.
And all the other things, programs, what is called software programs, they are all man-made. Man always makes mistakes also. So there is a liability for mistakes also. It cannot be taken as a total pramana because it is basically man-made. It cannot be taken as a pramana. It may be a technological identity, but it cannot be taken as a knowledge identity.
So
we are speaking about the knowledge here. You must understand it.
So since the body is made up of 5 gross elements, it is continuously interacting with the nature, Prakriti. So that's what actually Professor is mentioning.
We concluded this topic now. Now we invite the next presenter, Johnny Rantha. Present, is he? Yes. She's going to present a paper on non-violence, way to maintain world peace.
Good morning, everyone. If humanity is a progress, Gandhi is inescapable. He lived, thought and acted, inspired by the vision of humanity evolving towards a world peace and harmony. We may ignore Gandhi at our own risk. Junior Martin Luther King. Next, please. Today, the whole world is facing the problem of war and destructions due to reasons known to everyone. War is the outcome of fulfilling the greed of human beings. Now, the peace is the only necessity to maintain among the nations for the survival of mankind. The very basic reason for war and destructions are poverty, inequality, and illiteracy. Everyone is aware of the consequences of world war. That is, more destructions, more poverty, less resources for welfare and education, and above all, more possibility for another war. The threat of nuclear weapons is also hovering into the mind of masses. To avoid the conflict among the nations, the United Nations came to came into existence, but this was not proved enough to resolve the tensions with its roots. First of all, the eradication of poverty is must. To address this basic problem, poverty and illiteracy, non-violence is the only hope of human society. African countries are the glittering examples of suffering due to the greed of man, and this is the biggest challenge to us, that this example should not be repeated, although it's not limited to the African nations. It will be very interesting to note that the solutions of this problem of mankind discussed above lies not outside but inside itself. All spiritual and religious stalwarts have chosen the consciousness of mankind as their working place, as the problem arises there, and it should be addressed there and not in outer world. The Gandhi too was not an exception to it. Next please. Introductions. World peace and ideal of freedom, peace and happiness among and within all nations or peoples. It is an idea of plenty, non-violence, by which nations willingly cooperate either voluntarily or by virtue of the system of governance that prevent welfare. The term is sometimes used to refer to a cessation of all hostility among all individuals. War are the lust for powers. In some way or other, some nations want to establish supremacy over at least some other nations. They derive to create and perpetuate inequality so as to maintain their superiority. Self-aggrandizations give rise to inequality, and inequality in return affords scope for self-aggrandizations. It is a vicious circle which can be broken only by the international law, by which all nations are treated as equal. The spirit of self-aggrandizations is killed in some extent, so it's required to be more nullified by educations, by the prolifications of equality of all nations, by an international law. Such a law in the course of time would become a convention and de facto accomplishment. Next please. Now this is the table showing the topmost 5 countries on the military expenditures. Despite economic recessions and government austerity, the world military spending continued to grow faster and faster, exceeding $1.7 trillion, with the United States accounting for more than 2/5 of that. April 17, as millions of Africans were filing their income tax returns. The Stockholm International Peace Research Institute realized its latterly study of world military spendings. In case Americans were wondering where most of their tax money and the tax money of other nations went in the previous years, the answer from SIPRI was clear: to war and preparations for war. World military spending reaches a record of $1,738 billion in 2011, an increase of $138 billion over the previous year. The United States accounted for 41% of that, or counterproductive. Little wonder that they have been condemned repeatedly by great religious and ethical leaders. Even many government officials have described war and preparation for war, although usually by nations other than their own. Thus, the realize of the new study by SIPRI should not be cause for the celebrations. Rather, it shows that just a political agenda for developed nations, that they are serious about to maintain the world peace. Now, the questions arise: if the developed nations is quite serious to maintain the world peace, then what is the need for more and more spending on military expenditures and nuclear weapons? SIPRI report shows that in 2012, nations spent more money on military than at any time in the human history. According to Gandhi, there are certain conditions which can be conducive for world peace, that are all nations should be treated equally. Next please. Next. The equality of all nations should be recognized. Disarmament should be accepted by the nations both in principle and their practice. As long as nations is not independent, there would be no world peace. It's necessary that all nations should be independent to be equally partner in the League of Nations in order to have peace. Next please. Non-violence as a method to replace peace. Gandhi suggested a moral alternative to war. The international community so far has adopted the method of violence, physical power, as a mean for resolving conflict which occur due to the clash of nations' interests as well as for other reasons. The achievement of science and technology has proven that fertility of war in modern time, it means total annihilation of the world. Gandhi rejected war as a method of conflict resolution and suggested novel techniques of satyagraha based on the principle of non-violence, which may legitimately be regarded as moral alternate for war for the resolutions of conflict. However, these techniques of satyagraha requires greater courage and training than it required for the military personnel. The techniques of non-violence resistance not only hold good for resoluting the interpersonal conflict, but for the international conflict also. According to Gandhiji, the World Peace Organization must have the following characteristics. Next please. The individual and the nation comprising the world should be predominantly non-violent. All the nations of the world should be fully independent. There can be no place for such world for colonizations, imperializations and race hatred. The distinctions of big and small should be obligatory, and every nation should feel as tall as the tallest. Each and every nation must be represented in the international organizations. It should be based on general disarmament, failing that some of the nations at least should take the initiative and give a lead to the rest of the world. Its examples may become infectious in course of time, even as an example of the non-violent individual become infectious. Next please. Non-violence not a policy for a helpless people. Generally, it is taught that Gandhi's non-violence is a policy of helpless people, but he says non-violence is not a cover for cowards. It is a supreme virtue of brave. It does not mean meek submissions for the will of the tyrant. Non-violence, therefore, ability to strike. It is conscious, deliberate restraints put upon one's desire for. If one cannot do so, he must take the vigilance as he can, because vigilance, say Gandhiji, any day superior to passive. Between cowards and violence, he would prefer violence. Next please. Non-violence both for individual and for society. Nowadays, race for armament is going on the very rapid speed. The UNO recognized that the government of almost all countries of the world are not prepared to renounce war for one reason or the other. War cannot produce peace. It produces only war. Absence of peace is both the cause and the effect of tensions in social, national and international spheres. It frustrates all attempts at economic development, social progress and human solidarity. Hence, some new and basic thought will have to be adopted for permanent and long-lasting world peace. It was a lifelong conviction with Gandhiji that mankind and its civilizations can be saved from destructions only through non-violence. The individual and his environment, local, national and international, have to be purged of violence. If the individual himself through strict self-discipline, and if the nations of the world reconstruct themselves along non-violence lines, the emerging international order will naturally be peacefully and cooperative. Next please. Gandhiji recommended following way the non-violence and for the achievement and establishment of world peace. Non-violence movement should be started on the international levels. Peace workers all over the world must unite. Through peace and education, workers should bring a change in mentality of the masses and infuse for the feeling of unity. Peace worker of each nation should press their government for total disarmament. Next, please. How peace can be maintained through non-violence is a method in the following diagram. This shows that in the above diagram, it's clear that the whole world should be treated as global village. To maintain world peace, we have to teach the method of non-violence globally through cultural and scientific cooperations. To teach non-violence globally, we have to first create equality among the masses. For that, empowerment for democratic participations of women and youth should be must. Media can play a positive role in it by spreading the news over the non-violence techniques. This is, in other words, means the applications of non-violence in the social affair, and unless the individual, the group, and the nation stick to truth and non-violence in the way preached by Gandhi, humanity seems destined to doom. Because no social order, may be communism, democracy, and even democratic socialism, can be stable if the individual are not tolerably truthful and politely plain and saturated with love. Next, please. Conclusions. Peace is the basic desire in the history of humanity. In spite of many wars, man has endeavored to establish peace in the world and accepted peace as the necessity conditions for progress of mankind. The present crisis of civilizations is the direct result of losing hold of moral value and ethical ideas. Unless man grows in his spiritual character in proportions to his gigantic technological status, the future will be in danger. We have devised different set of moral values, and often these values conflict with one another. The affair of the world must be based on uniform moral principles rather than mere economic planning. The world war has shown that how terrific is the result of the man greeds, and it can destroy the whole humanity species from the earth. It gives us the clue that no nations will be the victorious or defeated by using the nuclear weapons. We have to know the art of living at the personal and the social level and minimize our greeds and practice uniform moral standards or international plans. Otherwise, there will be no scope to maintain world peace. The relevance of Gandhi idea and their universal applicability is preciously because of the fact that his ideas and thoughts are not based on the colonial demonstrations and explosives attitudes, cutthroat competitions, and some other material and worldly values. As against these, they are based on strong human value with moral and spiritual touching. He wanted to give a spiritual touch to all economic, social, political, and other problems which he thought as the root cause of all prosperity and happiness. His ideas were always to the best interest and the real solutions of the problem of mankind. One may argue that Gandhian declarations on peace contains some practical difficulty to be implemented in the present day world. But if the peace is established by violence, it will be no use. Nowadays, quite often we read in the newspaper that police in some places, army marching into a agitating place and peace being established, but that peace is doubtfully that of the graveyard. But when the non-violence person wins, he wins the heart of the foe. Peace is the relationship between people and between certain kind of peoples. Peace begins with the harmony between individuals. Gandhiji worked for the establishment of such relationship among individuals and groups. His is a unique contribution to peace in the modern context. Gandhiji's style of life and the techniques he propounded deserve to be studied and applied so that the world may be a safe place to live. Gandhiji's ideas were relevant during his lifetime, continue to be relevant in the new millennium, and shall remain so for many decades. Next, please. Next. Yeah.
That time is coming.
Yes.
2 minutes.
Lesser known dimensions of Gandhian thoughts and their expansions. Non-violence also include non-violence of thought, but this means that purifications of thoughts. Purifications of thought is that we must not let our thoughts polluted by violent or non-judicious means to have anything. Initially, this type of non-violence was an integral part of Gandhian philosophy, but the struggle for the freedom of India dominated other thoughts of Gandhi, and other area of non-violence gone into backyard. At some place it was already taught by Gandhi, but it is not understood in the right perspectives. Usually we understood non-violence is the absence of war and conflict resolutions, negotiations between nations and societies, and this type of non-violence is visible. But the non-violence at individual behavior is must. Gandhi stressed upon the purifications of mind. By purifications, the means to achieve the goal. So the concept of non-violence is not complete until it includes the non-violence of thoughts. Non-violence of thought has two dimensions. First, it covers interactions with ecology, and secondly, the use of natural resources by judicious non-violence means. By these two aspects, we reach to the greater interpretations of non-violence, since it includes non-living things too. Nevertheless, the lesser known area to study need greater attention of researcher, and we can start this by study of the sum and all the points given below. The study of exploitations of natural resources and its distributions among the habitants. The study of behavior of human thoughts, its biochemical reactions and its effect upon the thoughts process of mankind. The study of human environment and its interactions with society. The relations of human with flora and fauna. Next please. Next please. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. A good expression towards the need for world peace. Now it is open. Yes, Doctor.
You are a research scholar.
Yes, sir.
So I have one doubt.
Yes, sir.
When we are saying that peace is very, very important,
yes, sir,
is there any country identified peace as one of the rights needed for the man, starting from the French Revolution onwards? Can we identify any country which has identified peace as an important right for human being?
I think that is India. India is a best example for maintaining the world peace. It's our history that we have never attacked any countries all over our previous.
I am not asking that question.
Yes, sir.
In a constitution, is there identified? That is what I want to say.
Okay, sir.
Secondly,
yes, sir.
What do you mean by war?
War is war. I think it's a result of man greed. So more and more, supremacy over the other.
First you
people.
Understand war.
Yes, sir.
Then you can understand peace.
Yes, sir.
You understand right. Why I am using right? Because right is considered to be a general condition.
Okay.
According to political grammar.
Yes, sir.
So you must understand whether right is considered to be a general condition, peace, practically.
Okay.
You consider so first.
Okay, sir.
This is my suggestion.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, please, Doctor.
In line with the theme of the conference, namely the ancient Indian wisdom and modern world, we would really appreciate if you had added some ancient Indian thought on non-violence and peace. Gandhiji himself has said very often that he derived inspiration from ancient Indian wisdom.
Yes, sir.
For example, I can quote just one stanza. Sujano nayati vairam parahita nirataha vinasha kadepi chedepi chandana taruhu surabhayati mukam kutarasya. A man of peace, of non-violence, does not entertain enmity towards anybody, even at the time of his own destruction for that matter, because he is always interested in the welfare of others for the sake of the society at large. An illustration is set forth. Even at the time when it is cut with an axe, the sandalwood tree adds only fragrance to the tip of the axe with which it is cut. So there are ever so many ideas, right from the Ramayana times, right from the Vedic times. Your paper would added value if you had quoted some instances, just for improvement.
Here, Dr. Prasad is.
You, please. And as you said, India never attacked any out of the country. Then what will you say about the Ramayana? Ram attacked in the Sri Lanka. First question. Second question. The policy of the any government nation, as you said, that there should be the nation. Nation means the compartmentalization in the international law. Then the every nation should prevent inter-state or the inter-nation protection from the criminals, those who are going to be proceed in the society. What would be the your expenditure in the nation for the maintaining the peace in the country?
I didn't mention about the, that you were saying the expenditure and all. I am just stressing on the purifications of thought. If we are stressing on the maintaining the world peace, we have to first purify our thoughts. That's our movement.
What about the military training and the peace maintenance?
That's what I'm saying.
In that society, there will be no police?
Yeah.
Then what will be about their teachings and their ladies?
Listen, if our thoughts are purified, then what's the need of military expenditure and all? That's what I'm saying. But
Then how will you prevent the crime in the society? And what about the punishment in that crime? If the one spoils the peace.
Once we purify each and every person or thoughts on the society, then
will you teach the yoga in the for the crime if I have done crime?
Are you putting the question or just confronting?
Sir, I am putting a question.
No, one question is enough, please.
It's a respond.
I can answer to his first question.
Please say yes, Rama. Afterwards you can.
Rama did not take any military expedition towards Lanka. See, he has to retrieve his wife because she has been abducted.
Yes, sir. I am taking that when there is no one for the fight.
Let me complete. He also preached peace.
Yes, sir. I agree. I agree with you, sir. India preached the peace, and there are so many documents in the regarding the peace. If the one crime if that happen, then what will be the about that peace? He should be the governing the punishment also, sir.
I think the question is not very clear, and she is referring to the per capita and GDP examples because there are 4 countries she mentioned. They are spending more on these things, particularly when our thoughts are purified, we are clear in our thinking, and our approach is very soft. Then where is the place of violence?
Yes, sir.
So that is the point she is putting forth. That is one thing. And non-violence in Indian sense basically is ahimsa. Ahimsa paramo dharma we say. And Gandhiji is ardent believer in Gita, and he was actually entirely following throughout the Gita preachings only. And Gita says that adveshta sarva bhutana. So that is how he has derived the Indian philosophical thought in his practice.
Yes.
So that indirectly I refer to Indian philosophy only, but you could have referred, as Professor Anupam told, taking some references from the scriptures. So it strengthens the impression of the topic.
Every religious leader had only the same aim, the divine consciousness, and then followed by the virtuous way of life. To the extent of this knowledge, the knowledge about nature, as she was mentioning, harmony between the self, harmony between the nature. Harmony between the society. As it develops, there will not be any violence in the society. Non-violence will prevail. No need for army, no need for policing. So, we have to develop that approach. One poem I will quote that Vedatri Maharishi is saying, I will translate it in English afterwards. அறிவினது வளர்ச்சியில்லா மக்களுக்கு அவசிய தேவை பொருள் கிடைக்காவிட்டால் நெறிதவறி செயல் விளைக்கும் துணிவு உண்டாம். நிலவுலகில் இந்த நிலை மீற மீற வெறிகொண்டு மனிதர் பலர் ஆற்றும் செய்கை வகைபலவான் துன்பங்கள் மலியக் கண்டோம். What he says, as long as the real knowledge is spread into the society, violence will be in various manners, multi-pronged way, it will come out, and then it will lead to so many problems. So, it is the basic need to give this basic knowledge about the nature, its functioning, and respecting. That is called the virtue. We have to take up this knowledge, the basic knowledge, to all. Then there will not be any conflict in the mind of the self also in the mind of the people. So till then we have to make every effort to bring out the ancient culture of this soil.
Thank you.
If you look at this, I'll just make a comment and you can follow your question.
Rajkumar is
Yeah.
I want to point out some mistakes committed by this non-violent country. Madam told India has never invaded into any country.
Yes.
But in 1971, the Bangladesh was East Pakistan. It was the integral part of the Pakistan. But they implemented the rule, divide and rule that we invaded that country and we liberated. We say liberation, but actually that was war strategy committed planned by the Indian Army. Before that, when we fight with the Pakistan, the attack came from the two places, from West Pakistan and East Pakistan. If we liberate that country, then it will become favor for India. So hereafter, if any war takes place, we may focus only on the West Pakistan. It was planned by Indian Army, but in fixed this region did not come. They told only that will be liberation of that country. How can we enter into a problem of another one country? That was the civil war of the Pakistan. So this is a mistake. Another one, we sent Indian peacekeeping force to the Sri Lanka. That became Indian peace-killing force. These are the two mistakes.
I think the time is up. We will go to
Just one observation.
Yes, Rajkumar.
I like your phrase that non-violence is not cover of the cowards. Really, very nice. I really like that phrase very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. The time is up. We go to the next. Now I invite Mr. Talat Praveen. Oh, she's there. Okay, she's going to present a paper on the relevance of Abhidhamma psychology to modern world. In daily life. Yes, I have to add.
My research paper title is Relevance of Abhidhamma Psychology in Daily Life. The Abhidhamma Pitaka is a compilation of scholastic teachings of Buddha, which mainly explains the nature of the ultimate reality, Paramatha Desna, Dhamma. It contains neither monastic rules nor popular discourses, but directly presents the description of the ultimate real, which are profound and deep in nature. It differs both in style and treatment of the Dhamma from the two other Pitakas. The teachings of the Buddha, whether contained in the Vinaya or the Sutta or the Abhidhamma, is nectar for the mankind. Yet scholars regard the Abhidhamma teaching is more efficacious and consider that the Abhidhamma preachers are the real preachers. So according to the Buddha, the teachings of the Abhidhamma are more novel and efficacious in their nature, and according to Buddha Ghosa, commenting upon the word Abhidhamma, regards it as exceedingly profound and preponderant teachings. We may proceed with its analysis literally, traditionally, theoretically and technically. Here literally the Pali term Abhidhamma is composed of two words, namely Abhi and Dhamma. Abhi means deep, subtle, profound and excellent, etc. The term Dhamma is of multifaceted significance. It conveys different contextual meanings. Similarly, the term Dhamma connotes doctrine, teaching or discourse, law, intrinsic quality, conditioned or composite things, mental attitude, volition of action, truth, righteousness, good conduct, the counterpart of mana, mind we can say, etc. It is also regarded as the book of Paramatha Desna, deals with the real which are abstract, aviparita. This is the Pali word, aviparita. In nature, yatha dhamma desna, the collection of instructions according to the state, and nama rupa paricheda katha contains the discourses or mind and matter. The Abhidhamma deals with the most general causes and principles of things, contains ethical or ethical system enabling one to realize the moral and immoral deeds as well as the means of realizing the ultimate goal. that is Nibbana. Moreover, it is a system of psychology as it deals with the mind, its working and the process of cognition. Hence, logically, the Abhidhamma may be considered as the psycho-ethical philosophy of Buddhism, and according to the Buddhist philosophy, in our practical life, a number of objects appear in the range of our senses. Their information is carried to the mind, and if the object is agreeable to the mind, we name it happiness. When it is disagreeable feeling experienced by the mind towards an object. Since Buddhism too primarily concerned with the liberation of human being, mana, it implies that human being is in the state of suffering. Hence the question arises, what is human being? According to Buddhism, man is the composition of nama, mind, and rupa is a form, we can say matter. Further, the mind itself is the composition of chitta, consciousness, and chetsika, psychic factors. Thus, man a composition of chitta, consciousness, chetsika, psychic factors, and rupa, matter, is in the state of suffering. And the relation between man and suffering, it is revealed from out practical experience that man suffers because of attachment. For instance, we hear about thousands of people suffering due to various kinds of disease, but are not disturbed by them and never experience any kind of uneasiness. However, on hearing the news of the ailment of our friends or any relatives, we feel uneasiness and experience suffering due to the attachment we have for them. This exhibits the relation between man and suffering. Thereupon, we should know that what is the state where there is no suffering at all. That is the Nibbana is the state devoid of suffering. The word Nibbana is a composition of two words, Ni and Vana. Ni denotes negation or devoid of, while the Vana means craving. Compositively, Nibbana means devoid of craving. In fact, this craving is nothing but the attachment towards an object. Since it has already been discussed that attachment causes suffering, the state where there is no attachment at all, the state of eternal bliss. Ultimately, the cessation of suffering and reaching the state of eternal bliss, followers of the Buddha Dhamma observance strictly the Noble Eightfold Path. Observance of this path is precedent to destroy attachment, we can say raga, passion. The root cause of suffering and for the realization of Nibbana, eternal bliss. Besides the study of Nibbana, the Abhidhamma Pitaka makes a study of Chitta, consciousness, Chetsika, psychic factors, and Rupa, matter. The psychophysical constituents of Mana. Thus, the Abhidhamma has four basic elements states to study, namely Chitta, consciousness, Chetsika, psychic factor, Rupa, matter, and Nibbana, eternal bliss. The purpose of this paper is to explore the possible utility of Abhidhamma philosophy inform a practical mode for the psychotherapy in daily life. Abhidhamma describes the mind as a combination of chitta, consciousness, and chetsika, mental factors or concomitants of mind. There are 52 kinds of chetsikas. Some can defile the mind, some can purify the minds, and some are neutral. The total number of possible combinations between chitta and chetsika are 121. This combination accounts for the various states of mind. They explain fully why the mind is sometimes bad and sometimes noble, etc. In Abhidhamma thought, the Buddha analyzed mind and matter in minute detail in terms of the ultimate realities known as Paramarthas, and psychologists began their task by proving the nature of mind. In this endeavor, they study the behavior of animals and men. Thus, psychology becomes the study of behaviorism rather than the science of the mind. To see things as they really are is the cherished goal of all lovers of truth, including philosophers and psychologists. When one cannot see the true picture of things, one sees the distorted picture and maintains the wrong view about them. One basic wrong view which has plagued men for eons of time is Sakai Ditti. Sakai Ditti is the wrong personality belief. It is a personality belief interpreting the aggregates of Rupa and Nama as an individual or I or Atta. Because of this Sakai Ditti, everyone wants to be a very important person, wants to pile up possessions for the benefit of I, and behaves in a selfish way. In fact, all sorts of troubles and miseries spring up from this wrong view. Seeing others as a person, a man, a woman, an individual, etc. is also Sakai Ditti. Sakai Ditti gives rise to other wrong views which are untouchable in the world today. Uncountable in the world today. The dreadful thing about Sakai Ditti is that it can couple with bad karma to throw one down to the lower abodes, apaya. Apaya is one kind of the needier loka. Once and again, according to Buddha's teaching, to get rid of Sakai Ditti is most important and most urgent. It is as urgent as putting the fire on one's head when one's head is on fire, and as removing the spear and treating the wound on one's chest when the chest is implanted by the spear. The study of Abhidhamma furnishes one with the right view that I or Atta does not exist, and what really exists in man are Chitta, Chetsika and Rupa. Understanding the mental states can help one to control one's temperament and to avoid unwholesome mental states, thus reducing mental tension and curing many mental diseases. When one understands that the volition, Chetana, that direct one's action, speech and thought bear karmic properties which cause rebirth and shape the destiny of beings, one becomes mindful to avoid unwholesome volitions. Furthermore, when one understands causal relation described in Abhidhamma, one can get rid of all wrong views and hold a correct understanding of what is going on in the world. When one decides to follow the Noble Eightfold Path to free oneself from all miseries, one begins with the right view and develops Sila, morality, Samadhi, concentration and Panya, wisdom, step by step. In so doing, one has to undertake Samatha Vipassana, tranquility and insight, meditation, and try to observe how the Chitta, Chetsikas and Rupa as are functioning, how they are being produced incessantly, how the causal relations really work, and in short, how all the phenomena described in Abhidhamma really take place. All the immoral Chittas, numbered only 12 in type, they occur much more frequently than moral Chittas in a person every day. This is because the mind is under the influence of Lobha, Dosa and Moha. Most of the time, these three immoral Chetsikas are known as Akusala Mula, that is, originators of immorality. Because of Moha and Lobha, we want to enjoy pleasure all the time, and during this enjoyment, Lobha Mula Chitta will be arising at the rate of many billions per second. At the time we are dressing with pleasure, at the time we are enjoying food and drink, etc., Lobha Mula Chittas will be arising by many billions. When we are not pleased with the senses or the scenes we encounter, those Mula Chittas will be arising by billions again. Sometimes when these senses are not appealing, we feel indifferent and distracted in mind. Moha Mula Chittas will arise during this time. So if we take stock of moral Chittas and immoral Chittas in a day, immoral Chittas will outnumber the moral Chittas by many millions times, since the immoral Chittas lead seeds of unwholesome karma which will bring out unfavorable results and unhappy destiny or rebirth. It is unwise to let the mind take its course freely. So, according to the Buddhism, in the practical aspect, Abhidhamma describes several ways for developing samadhi, concentration of mind, when the unwholesome mental factors such as lobha, greed, dosa, anger, udhacha, restlessness, these all are the Pali term I have used here. Udhacha, restlessness, kukucha, remorse, vichikicha, doubt, thin mid, sloth and torpor can be calmed down so that they do not arise in the mind. Then the mind becomes unperturbed, peaceful and in a lucid state. Abhidhamma pinpoints the mind in its proper place. The true ability of every person lie in his mind. So nobody needs to look up the sky and ask for help for some supernatural force, for the most powerful force lie within him. So in conclusion, it is the mind which leads the world and the life of everybody. So the mind is undoubtedly the most powerful agent in the world. In reality, Abhidhamma is the golden knowledge which helps one to discard wrong views, Sakaiditi, and to acquire right views for one's total liberation from all miseries and various kinds of mental disorder. This approach was chosen as a way of returning to the original psychological perspectives of Abhidhamma, which shares with many psychological fields the goal of alleviating human suffering. This research paper aims at to serve a practical grounding for some of the current applications of the Abhidhamma teachings. This process of relational meditation would be able to create a fruitful environment for the people to gain exposure, tolerance and insight into the way the mind can create suffering. With Abhidhamma knowledge, we can understand better which qualities need to develop and how. If we know the conditions which make us happy and free, we can try to create them as well as strengthen them. By knowing how our mind works and functions, we can apply these natural laws to achieve our own desired goal. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Timely concluded. We appreciate your presentation.
Thank you so much.
Okay, very nicely you have put all the important points towards peace. Very nice thing. Now it is open for discussion. Okay.
Now you have spoken about Nirvana.
Nirvana. Sir, ni means is down. Oh,
I am not questioning the thing.
Yes, sir.
For a research scholar, you must take into cognizance. There is one book in Buddhist tradition, Mahaparinibbana Sutta.
Yes, sir.
So when he says Nirvana is there, where from Parinirvana comes and Mahaparinirvana comes?
Yes.
And what is its utility when compared with Abhidhamma Sutra?
Yes,
you have to just understand it.
Please explain.
Sir, Nibbana, according to Buddhism, there are two kinds of Nibbana, Saupadidesa and Nirupadisesa. Saupadisesa, that means as a body, alive, we can get Nibbana. Nibbana means free from all defilements. And Parinibbana means completely free. That means your five aggregates, which is is a Rupa, Vedana, Nama, Sanya and Sanskara and Vijnana. This is the five aggregates. According to Buddhism, this is the constitution of our form. It's free from body. This is the Mahaparinibbana. So this is the second Nirupadisesa Nibbana. So that's why in the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, this is the last discourse of the Buddha, is when he was dying. At that time he has delivered this discourse.
For some time Buddhism.
Yeah.
I am a student of Buddhism also.
Okay, just sir, thank you.
The point is, when you are using a particular word in a particular sequence, as you are a research scholar, you must segregate the idea there itself and you must present it. You must not give way to the others to question you. As a research scholar, you cultivate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. Here, while you were presenting, you told about this attachments.
Attachment,
yes. Can we detach from such attachments?
Sir, suddenly we cannot do it, but slowly we can do it. If you are going through the leading path, noble path, noble eightfold path, then slowly we can minimize our desire and we can detach, because we are living in phenomenal world. And we cannot completely detached because we are common persons. It's very difficult because our mind is very fickle and very hard to control it. Because Lord Buddha in the Dhammapada, first verse, Manupubbagama Dhamma Manusitha Manumaya Manasacha Paduthena Bhasti Va Karoti Va Tato Nanga Chakava Vahatopadam. So mind is forerunner and chief, and if you are talking and working with corrupted mind, so according to this verse's meaning is your suffering is follow like a shadow. So we are living in a phenomenal world, so we cannot complete detached with this, but slowly, definitely we can
even
minimize.
That slowly and slowly,
yes, sir.
You cannot totally come out from the attachment.
Yeah.
Because you cannot live.
Yeah.
So that detachment should be with attachment.
Yes.
Attachment to the need. Without meeting out your basic needs,
yes,
you
yes.
cannot survive.
Cannot,
so that attachment should be with the detachment.
With the detachment, yeah. Just like suppose piti and sukha and wishes. So wishes is two kinds, you know. Some is bad kind of wishes should be, and good kind of wishes should be. So which kind of wishes we are following? That is more important. Which kind of path we are leading? So this Eighth Noble Path, this lead us and focus us. We should live in right way. We should go in right way. Then definitely we can achieve that state. This is the process.
That's a nibbana.
That is the nibbana.
I think already you have mentioned about vipassana.
Yes.
So that is the process by which you can be detached.
Yeah, definitely.
Whether slowly or whatever process you inherit. So that is one thing. Second is your translation of Nama and Rupa.
Yeah.
According to Sanskrit or Vedanta, Nama is a name and Rupa is a form.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have taken Nama for mind.
Yeah, mind.
I don't know how this thing can be balanced in Buddhist philosophy.
Yeah. Actually, in Buddhism, there are many similarities actually, synonymous. Chitta is mind, consciousness, vijnana. Is in Buddhism and Abhidhamma called many different name, but meaning is same.
No, different than word and its meaning, not the mind.
Yeah.
So you have taken Nama for mind. Probably you may have a relook.
No, Chitta is mind.
Chitta is mind. But you have to refer Nama as mind.
Okay, maybe it's just Chitta
No,
is mind.
One more addition I think I like to give. Chitta actually is a life force. Chitta is life force. That's how it is called also Chittakas. Chitta. Then when life force is functioning in this body, it produces biomagnetism. Through that biomagnetism only we come into contact with the external world. Through the
cognition. Yes, cognition.
So we get back the qualities of the external world and then it is stored in the genetic center. Then it comes out, the same wave comes out as a thought force. Whatever the life force experienced is coming out as thoughts. That thoughts are now put together called mind. Chitta is different from what's that? Mana. Mind. So Chitta is the base. The experiences gained by the life force is called mind.
Yeah, definitely, sir, I agreeable to you, sir. But Abhidhamma is they have given equal. The Chitta is mind is Chitta, consciousness and Vijnana, and so that is the similarities actually, synonymous of these all words.
Without Chitta, no mind.
No mind. Definitely.
Mind. So the experiences gathered by the mind, by the life force, is called mind.
Dr. Samrat Kumarji has one comment.
I want to add one thing. According to Vijnanavada, the Chitta is the storehouse of consciousness, and according to Vedanta, Chitta is consciousness. There is a difference between Chitta and Chittam.
Yes, Chittam it is. Yes, right.
Chitakasa is different from this one, Chittam.
Chittam is mind. Chittam is mind.
No, Chittam is a storehouse of consciousness.
No, Chittam is one of the antakarnas.
Like that, Chittam, Mano, Buddhi, Ankara,
yes.
Antakarana Chittastayam. In Vijnanavada, Chittam means a storehouse of consciousness. Like our Antakarana and Vasanas are reside there. So Chit is different in Vedanta. Chit is consciousness, pure consciousness.
Yeah, pure consciousness. Yes, right.
Chitta, this is what I am also telling. Chittam is a different.
Chitta is pure consciousness. Actually from Vedanta, Manobuddhyankar Chittani, four, all the four are Antakarnas, which are manifestations of the Chit. Chittam is used as a, Chittam is useful in recording and retrieving the experiences.
Yes, this is what I am telling. It is the experiences, Antakarana.
Yes.
For different thank you. We are concluding this session. We appreciate her very much. Thank you very much. Give you a good clap. Thank you. To present the paper, she's Surabhi Verma. Please come. She is going to present the paper on precognition in dream, an introductory philosophical hypothesis.
Hello, I am the research student of Department of Sanskrit, Punjab University, Chandigarh. Actually, my research work is on precognition in dream with reference to Indian philosophy. This paper is a part of my research work. The title of this paper is Precognition in Dreams, an introductory philosophical hypothesis.
No, it is not from. It is on.
Okay, it's okay. This phenomena is quite complex, so please give your complete focus to understand the best, and I will try my best to explain this. The remarkable point of philosophy is the achievement of reality from much closer point of view that can't be obtained by materialistic aptitude and so-called scientific attributes. Please, slide one.
Please don't say so-called, please.
Yeah. The path of yoga and meditative techniques were in practice in India from a long time back. The secrets revealed by yogic seers and compiled into the form of philosophical systems show a relevant evidence of the actions of the consciousness which are in present day world known as ESPs or extrasensory perceptions, paranormal, supernormal, etc. Precognition, premonition and retrocognition are also included sub-terminologies. Precognition in dreams is the phenomena that has been claimed by many people and told by many ones to be believed. But unfortunately, when any phenomena becomes unable to be deduced through instrumental methodology, or when the results or conclusions demand a new thinking about a very well-established theory about something, or when scientific views get challenged, it takes a long time to be converted into a shaped hypothesis or theory. But the realm of philosophy, especially Indian philosophical systems and Indian intellectual tradition, has a space to deduce the new hypothetical concepts on the basis of previously laid doctrines of philosophy, and also to present their views in far or against of them. Using this philosophical research methodology, a new, or we can say a new but pre-existing or pre-settled reality about precognition in dreams has been shaped out in this paper. This hypothesis is based on two Indian philosophical systems. One is monistic and other one is dualistic. Next slide. What are dreams? Consciousness is the root cause of what is to be perceptible and what is not. Thus, functioning of consciousness with the instruments of the gross form creates all and lightens all. This creation involves three phases. The second phase of manifestation is dreaming phase. Swapna. So dream is the representation of the second deviation state of consciousness. Swapna prasthano antah pragya saptang ekon vinshati mukha pravivikta bhuk tejaso dutiyah pada. This is the verse of Mandukya Upanishad. Prasuptasya jnanam swapnah. Next slide. With the increase in the grossness, the limitations of the pure consciousness increases. Limitations increase and grossness increases. Vacant state is maximum gross form, and vacant state in vacant state pure consciousness gets maximally limited. Next slide. Dreams are succession of visual images, emotions, sensations that occur involuntarily in the mind during certain stages of sleep. The scientific study of dreams is called oneirology. Dreams mainly occur in rapid eye movement or REM sleep, stage of sleep. Dream is a state of sankalpa vikalpa of manas, swapno vikalpaha, as quoted in Shiva Sutra 1.9. On being the dissolution of vidya in samadhi, the binding constituent became omitted and it leads to the vision of special kind of dreams. Vidya sanghare taduttha swapna darshanam, jagrat swapna shushupti bhede turyo bhog sambhava. Dreams have a wide range of definitions and interpretations. Important point to be considered is in electroencephalogram during both the phases, that is in deep meditation and in dreaming phase. The same kind of theta waves arises. Brain emits the same kind of theta waves in dreaming and deep meditation. Next slide. Precognition. Precognition and retrocognition, that is knowledge of the future or past, is one of the many siddhis or spiritual powers described in Vibhuti-pada of Yoga Sutra of Patanjali. Precognition is defined as ability to gain knowledge of something in advance of its occurrence or manifestation, while retrocognition is the knowledge of something that already happened in the near or distant past. People who claim to have this power report that seeing the future or distant past is like watching a movie with their mind's eye. Parinamatray Sayamat Atid Anagat Jnanam Vibhuti-pada Patanjali Yoga Darshanam. Attainment of knowledge of the past and future. Precognition and retrocognition can be acquired by performing Sayama meditation on third eye chakra. The reason for this is that the third eye chakra or Agya chakra represents the superior mental consciousness that gives you direct perception of subtle aspects of manifestation. It is also the center of imagination, concentration and intuition. A person at coordinates x1, y1, z1 and t1 cognizes the events, things and places of the coordinates x2, y2 or z2 and t2. This is known as precognition. Next slide. Precognition in dreams is a type of phenomena that comes true as a future event. Myers defined precognition as knowledge of impending events supernormally acquired, while Tyrrell narrowed the field and defined as if knowledge is acquired of an event which has not happened but which later happens as foretold, and if this knowledge could not have been obtained by logical inference from present facts and could not result from an intention to fulfill the prediction, and is of too precise or detailed a character for its fulfillment to be attributed a chance, then the case is said to be as precognition. Precognition thus means the direct perception of events which have not yet happened. Some persons have capability to directly perceive the events in their dreams. Next slide. The philosophical hypothesis about the precognition in dreams has been deduced on the basis of the doctrines of the two philosophical systems. One is monistic, other one is dualistic. Monistic system is Pratabhigya school of Kashmir Shah philosophy, and dualistic is Yoga system of Indian philosophy. Next slide. Let us begin with the dualistic system. Next one. The dualistic system of Indian philosophy considers two principal elements. One is Chitti or Purush and the other is Prakriti, Chit or Buddhi. Chitti is considered as pure consciousness. Chit is changeless, passive, viewer of the objects, pure, divide of three kinds of gunas and without limits. Chitti Shakti, Aparinamini, Apratisankrama, Darshita Vishya, Shuddha cha Ananta cha. While Chit is trigonic in nature, composed of three principal elements, that is Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, Chittam hi Prakhya Pravitti Sthiti Shridattvat Trigunam. Reflected consciousness, Buddhi Darpade Purusha Pratibimb Sankranti eva Buddhi Pratisamveditvam Punsaha. Sattva is Prakashak and Laghu responsible for lightening the objects. Rajas is responsible for actions. Tamas is responsible for stability and heaviness. Scientifically, the three gunas can be compared as Sattva as harmony in the particles, Rajas as mobility and Tamas as inertia but can't be superimposed. The reflected consciousness becomes attached strongly to Chit, the same as that of iron and magnet. The reason behind this kind of attachment is eternal relationship of Purush to the mental modifications or Chitta Vritti. This reflected consciousness is strongly entangled with Chit, performs all the internal and external activities. Next slide. Chitta is trigonic, so in the effect of tamas, Chitta becomes attracted towards adharma, jnana, vairagya and anashwarya. In the effect of rajas, it becomes attracted towards dharma, jnana, vairagya and ashwarya. But in effect of sattva, prakhyarupi or lightened Chitta becomes attracted towards achievement and external objects. In this phase, in the effect of sattva, there is priority of sattva while rajas and tamas reside in equal proportions. Next slide. Reflection theory. Because of being devoid of consciousness, buddhi cannot catch the shape of the objects. When pure consciousness gets reflected in the non-conscious chitta or buddhi, chitta serves as the mirror and pure consciousness forms its image. This image is said to be as reflected consciousness. Reflected consciousness is not the same as that of pure consciousness because it becomes changed due to the properties of mirror, that is chit, which consists of three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. Along with that, mirror also gets changed because it starts behaving like a conscious one. Conscious chitta captures the shape of the objects and gets aware of that. Here reflected consciousness is original lower. This is the view of Acharya Vachaspati Mishra. But in the view of Acharya Vigyan Bhikshu, chitta captures the shape of the objects and again reflection phenomena takes place. Chit along with the shape of the object serves as the object and pure consciousness serves as the mirror. So chit along with the shape of the object gets reflected in pure consciousness and in this phenomena pure consciousness becomes the original lower. Next slide. Deduction on the basis of this system, the whole world is the result of reflection phenomena and everything is just the image of pure consciousness, that is chitti, that has been bound in mirror or chit, which is trigonic and provides the delimitations to the pure consciousness. Thus the image or reflected consciousness become of the nature of chit, the mirror, and chit functions as if a conscious one. This reflected consciousness is strongly bound with chit, performs the functions of waking, dreaming and deep sleep state. In dreaming, reflected consciousness carrying the role of the three gunas does its work. The functionality of three gunas is present in dreaming phase. In dream, when pure consciousness establishes communication with reflected consciousness and it takes it to the vision of the states of reflected consciousness in advancing time and space, etc., it becomes a phenomenon of precognition in dreams. This precognition is also possible in wakened state also, but to those practiced yogins who can establish such a communication between their reflected consciousness with that of pure consciousness. A practiced yogi who has attained the heights of yogin can be able to visualize the future in any of the phases of manifestation of pure consciousness, whether it is waking, dreaming or deep sleep state. Next slide. View of monastic system. Next slide. In monastic system, pure consciousness has been described in the name of Param Shiv and Chitti is considered as the power of Param Shiv, which is responsible for manifestation of whole cosmos. Param Shiv is described as having of both the powers, both the two forms. One is Prakash and other one is Vimarsh. Prakash Rup Prakash Vimarsh Maya Tameva Bhantam Anubhati Sarvam Tasya Bhasa Sarvam Idam Vibhati. Next slide. Param Shiv Vimarsh Rup Chiti Swatantra Vishwa Siddhi Hetu Sekshya Sabhitto Vishwam Inmiliyati. Param Shiv manifests the whole cosmos through Chitti Shakti at his own will, at his own will and freedom, and Chitti gets converted into Chit. This system considers 36 principal elements. Next slide. Okay, sir. 3 basic and 5 additional powers and 3 upayas to describe the complete creation. This is the diagrammatic representation of the system. Next slide. The principal doctrine of this school is Bimb Pratibimb Vaad, and it can be roughly translated as reflection theory. Next slide. This is the limitation of Param Shiv. As the grossness increases, Param Shiv becomes dilated and it represents as it becomes converted into the other Jeev and Sansari and all the non-living so-called non-living material. Next slide. The concept of reflection, that is in Kashmir Shaivism. In monistic system, pure consciousness has been described in the name of Param Shiv, and Chitti is considered as the power of Param Shiv. Next slide. Param Shiv reflects the whole universe from within himself on his own wall through his Swatantra Shakti. In this view, some very important notable points. In mirror, some external object gets reflected, but in case of Param Shiv, his own consciousness gets reflected. In mirror reflection phenomena, light source is required, but the Shiv is self-luminous. Mirror is non-living object, it is not aware of the images present in itself, but Param Shiv is totally aware of the images present in his own consciousness. Next slide. Pratibimb. Reflection or image always appears as different from its object. This is devoid of self-power, it appears admixed with the particles of the medium like water, glass, etc. For the phenomena of reflection in a so-called non-living mirror, an object is necessary, but consciousness is self-powered for reflection of consciousness in itself. Here the object is not necessary for reflection. So in the context of Shaiva philosophy, it is considered that the whole world is reflected in Param Shiv. This is the doctrine of Bimb Pratibimb Vad in Kashmir Shaivism. Next slide. The same situation occurs in dreams. In dreams, consciousness cognizes the states of consciousness at its own layer, so there is no real object present. Jeev bound in Panchakanchukas of Maya and 3 malas is known as Sansari. The consciousness bound in the layers of binding constituent cognizes the stages of the consciousness at its own wall. If this cognition is of forward coordinates of time, space, etc., the phenomena is known as precognition in dreams. Next one, conclusion. Scientifically, we are all moving in the world of images. As we perceive all the objects we see around us. We have a biconvex lens in our eyes, which makes inverted images of the objects we see, and other touch, smell, auditory sensations are also the result of the phenomena of reflection. Next slide. We all are moving in the world of images. It is very clear. Next one. The space-time limitations. We can see only one part of the eighth part of the whole of the sphere. If we can divide the Cartesian system of the theorem, 1/8 part is only visible to us. Nothing is visible against of that. Next slide. There is the concept of time in Indian philosophical systems that time is not linear, as it is cyclic. One of the problems that science has encountered in trying to find the proof of precognitive ability truly exists is that in order to predict the future, one must somehow defy the concept of linear time. Einstein theorized that the past, present and future all are an illusion, and Indian philosophy and Indian concept of time clearly explains the time as cyclic, though appearing as linear. Next one. Predetermination or predestination is very necessary in the back of precognition, because one cannot see the future unless every event to occur is predetermined and future is recorded. The view of Indian philosophical systems or Kashmir Shah philosophy, Pratyabhigya school, synthesizes both the concepts of determinism and free will. God makes a mega blueprint for the whole universe prior to the initial manifestation. This blueprint is model which may be executed with artistic modifications and design changes. God may bring about alterations in the blueprint if he wants. Any conscious entity may exercise free will within a permissible range. Thus the future is pre-planned but not absolutely predetermined. The cosmic blueprint is printed in cosmic mind. An individual mind with born qualities or capabilities acquired through training can link up with the cosmic mind. And so is the vivid picture of the future. The future can be read as the page of the book. The vision of the future may be clean, may be hazy, or may be partially or wholly illegible. The reader is important. He may be an adept yogi who can read very well. He may hardly be a neo-literate whose reading may not be very accurate. Next one. This is the hypothesis of precognition in dreams. Precognition in dreams is the phenomena of superimposition of reflections or images of the consciousness to provide or acquire the indicative knowledge of the states of reflections of consciousness at an advanced coordinate of time and space, etc. through subtle body by remaining at a particular coordinate of time, space, etc. Grossly, this phenomena is quite complex, though simply it is the play of consciousness within the range of binding constituents. Thank you. Next slide.
I think the time is over.
Okay. I have completed.
But you classified the consciousness into 4 conscious states. That is already in Malukama it is there. You said that in deep sleep also some thoughts will come. Deep sleep state also, Sushupti state also, you said some thoughts will come.
No. Thoughts will not come. This is the play of your consciousness. I have mentioned only this one.
No. Please, in one of your slides, change the mic because your mic is not.
The mic is seemingly defective.
Yeah, okay. The second one, time according to Indian philosophy is cyclic. That is okay. But there is a school of thought which says time doesn't exist. First thing. Our past is nothing but our memory. Future is nothing but our imagination and fear and worry. So, only present exists which changes every 1/10 of a second. Okay, that is...
I am not getting a question about what you are asking. Lastly you have said?
About time.
Time. Yes, time is cyclic.
Yes. That is agreed. There is a school of thought which says there is no time like thing. Physical time doesn't exist. Okay. And past is nothing but our memory. Future is nothing but our imagination, fear or worry. And present only exists which changes every 1/10 of a second. So, this XYZ that this thing, representation, automatically exists in the mind and not necessarily in the outside physical flow of the time.
Sir, Professor Goswami. Yes, sir. Professor Ramathan, sir. Then Professor Goswami.
I just have a query. Even for ordinary people, sometimes dreams come true. Dreams come true.
Yes.
Can you relate it?
Yes.
Explain it scientifically.
Yes. My research work is based on for common people. And I have taken the doctrines. I have created the hypothesis on the basis of the doctrines of the philosophical systems. But this research is related with the dreams of the common people, and my research work is at the second level. This time I am collecting the case studies relevant with this. Survey is going on, and survey is also of two base levels. One is qualitative and other is quantitative. Firstly, I am connecting the objective case studies of the common people, where they claim that they have seen something and it has occurred lately as it is, or in partially subjective, and then the next phase will be the subjective case study. This is the research is for the common people, but the hypothesis that I have considered for this one has been created on the basis of the doctrines and the references which are already present in the philosophical systems or in Sanskrit literature or Indian philosophy, wherever it has been collected. So hypothesis is based on that, but this research is totally for the common people.
That is correct. A long way. You have source of information you have source of information from variety of things, and your idea is good. But whether precognition exists or not is secondary, but you are doing a very good work.
Professor Goswami said.
I came very late.
Okay.
Let me confess. But you have provoked me. So I have to make very small points, 1 or 2 points. Number one, as the learned professor says, time does not, past and future don't exist. I don't think it is correct. Neither scientifically nor philosophically. Scientifically, because time is not absolute. It is a shadow of space-time. What exists is space-time, and this has two coordinates. On the x-axis it is time, and on the y-axis it is space. So it is a shadow of space-time. That is reality, physical reality. Number
we
two,
can discuss it, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Number two, you see, I don't know whether you have mentioned earlier in your paper about the past life regression of Dr. Brian Weiss. Did you mention in your paper? No. Let me share this information. It is very vital. In the sense, Professor Brian L. Weiss was the head and professor and head of the Department of Psychiatry, Miami Teaching Hospital, Florida. He has written 4 books based on his actual experiments, and the evidence, hard scientific evidence, is available even today. And he has written 4 books. I have read all the 4.
Now, what he says about dreams and past life regression, I am not going to dwell upon it because of paucity of time. I know. Secondly, you see, when you deal with time as such, so there is a theory, but there is no definite experience of time. You have two types of times in the Bhagavad Gita, Kal and Mahakal. You have two times of space in the Nasadiya Sukta, Vyom and Param Vyom, the three-dimensional physical space where you talk of time, as the respected professor was saying, and then there is a Param Vyom, which is abstract mathematical space in which the electron or the all subatomic particles, they assume in infinite dimension, like the quantum potential at background microwave background radiation. I mean, these are some very hard scientific concepts that we can discuss over a cup of tea at the tea break. I just wanted to give you some hints. If you can lay your hands on these books of Professor Brian L. Weiss, I think it will do you immense good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, can you please be brief in 1 minute, because already late.
As Professor Ramaratnam has told, as on date, 5 to 7 dreams have come to me true after 5 years each, and I am awaiting one more dream to become true.
So we are running out of time. So thank you very much, Ms. Surupi Verma, for your wonderful presentation. And I have summarized all the papers here, but due to want of time, I am just skipping the summarization. People can contact us later who are not present in the session, so that we can brief, and authors are also here very much. And Dr. Arnav Pandey has a request, suggestion to all the paper presenters that they can revise, modify and send back their papers for the special issue of IJIS, so that they will be published after the selection. And any other announcement? We will have a break. 10 minutes? Yeah. So we request the delegates to have a cup of tea to get. If they have taken, we can come to the next session, and we have the session next professional chairs. Thanks. We thank all the paper printers and the delegates for actively participating in the session. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you very much.
Actually, already people have taken the tea, and those have not taken, those have left, then please go and then can take.